Okay, going to do another CC playthrough, and this one is Burgundy Bluffs by Matt F27. Matt has a huge portfolio of courses, so kind of needs no introduction. We're now at the final stage, so a load of the technical stuff I'm expecting will be really good. And really, Jeremy and I think, are just doing these kind of for completion for the finalists and making sure we've got everything covered and taking a big deep dive into them. Matt's one of the guys who I probably learnt the most from when I was starting out designing. Certainly his Joy of Planting series on YouTube, if people haven't checked that out, is well worth a watch and goes more past the beginner stuff that Andre does and into kind of longer, more in-depth tutorials. That helped me a ton, and just looking at all of his courses, I think for me he's probably the best guy in the game at adapting his style. You'll see him do really good clean courses, parkland start, and then really good rugged ones. So looking forward to seeing this one. I've played it a couple of times already because I kind of knew it would be in the running. But I'll document my thoughts as I go. Okay, accidentally skipped the flyover. So first hole, one of the things I really like that Matt always does very well. Oh, we off the wrong tees. Was that going? Is that a different hole? I think that's a different hole. This is the back tee, isn't it? Yeah, blue 71. Yeah, we're off the right tee. One, two. Off the blue tee. Yeah, I am. So assume those tees go out. Okay, that way. Yeah, one of the things I think Matt does brilliantly, probably better than anyone else, is makes really wide fairways look natural. And just really big surfaces. Bunkers are nice and bold. Got some undulations in the fairway. I mean, they're well sculpted. Maybe this one gets a touch narrow towards this end, but I mean, visually it does everything it needs to. I mean, I love the look. I love the courses this is based on. It's right up my alley. I guess one minor nitpick is the sculpting. Just the undulations almost look too natural, in the sense that they're quite flat and then there's some bowls, and I think that's maybe just dragging the flattened brush, if I'm guessing rightly, which is creating those little dips. Personally, I find raising with the very fuzzy brush gives you a bit more random results, but super minor nitpick. Framing's outstanding, planting's outstanding, lovely first look, and okay, we've got an interesting green that funnels down. Huh. A bit of a false front, so that's going to be a tough approach, potentially for pro club guys, but 430 is probably wedge in, assuming we can hit our spot. We're going to go with the ultra graphics and see how that lasts. I really like the lighting as well. I love that it's not just clear and super bright. I think that makes a difference. I like that there's a tiny bit of non-flat lie. Yeah, kind of seeing the flattening thing a bit more here as well. It's just gone in lines, which I don't know if that's just a me thing, but I wonder whether even if you're doing it the drag and click way, maybe if you go vertically occasionally, I don't know. Right, loft up. I just really like the frames completely filled, and you get this wonderful sense of depth with the trees back there as well. I don't have anything to nitpick about this hole really, other than that little bit of sculpting. Hold on. Yeah, that's okay. Oh, and I love the little peek through to the hole back there, whatever the hole that was. That's a tricky-ish first pin position. You know what? I'm okay with this. Matt and I did Seven Oak together, and that's probably the trickier end of CC courses, and I think there's a place for, as long as it's not overly challenging, there's a place for a tricky course on CC. Yeah, I love this little sightline you've crafted through to that green. Okay. And also the way you've done the lighting with it not, hopefully not looking too stark, but also we're getting a little bit glimpses of the sun coming through, is really cool. Par 5 is the second hole I'm a big fan of. It's a good place in the round for it. Again, the width is great. Maybe could have used a bit more underbrush up here, like beyond that first growth. Great looking tee shot. Interested to see how some of the judges who play, oh there's a dreadful tee shot, who play pro clubs find this, because I can see how maybe those approaches with really long clubs might be tricky. Oh, you know what, the slow, bloody hell, this is a tough green. But it's a par 5, I am completely fine with that. Where's my miss? Oof. Okay. I would maybe, personally I would probably widen this a touch just so that you can maybe run, feels like running it on there at CC level, maybe this is a bit tough. But it's a par 5, so I mean I'm okay with it. It's more a I would have done rather than, I mean it's clearly not too hard. I like the green speeds as well. 159 is a good speed for this sort of course. It's the sort of course that for me should never ever ever be played at 187. So why, yeah, don't put it anywhere near that. I think the planting looks really natural. Again, I maybe have put a bit more in here. There's a couple of areas where it's a little bit barer that are maybe leaping out a touch more. Super width once more. Also, gotta say, green sites so far have been perfect and really nicely varied. I've been caught out by this bunker before. It's a really cleverly done bunker in that it's diagonal and just forcing you to chew off that perfect little amount. But if we go this way, oh, okay. If we go right, we maybe get, maybe the player's right. Ah, I'm gonna have to tone my graphics down. That's a real shame. Yeah, 200. We can't keep going with that. Sorry. You can see it's kind of chugging a little bit on the backswing. Anyway. Well, where are we laying up to? It's just somewhere short here, I guess. I want a very fast that has got to be me. I like that I'm not really seeing, I'm not going out of my way to look for things to nitpick, I'm just not really seeing them. I guess one critique I might use is that I think for how undulating the land generally is, I feel the greens are not flat, but the undulations look quite regular, if that makes sense. This one's a bit different, and you've got a little bit of a half tier and a half tier, but it's still kind of doing the same thing. That's a nice little par save. I feel you could have gone a bit wilder with the undulations, but I get why you haven't at CC level. Another really nice green site, and making the most of the ocean without being on the ocean is just subtly clever. Big green here. I feel green sizes have been a little bit variable. I mean, if we're nitpicking, which, I mean, at this stage I'm trying to split 3 courses I'd say I really like. This is one of them for first place. It comes down to little bits. It's not a great swing, but I like that I can use the slope. You see, again, I like the ridge. I wish it was because this feels like a natural landform that's then just been really quite hardly flattened out. Oh, quite hardly flattened out quite hard. Possibly I'm reading a lot of the Spirit of St Andrews book by Mackenzie, and just loads of it is about if you've got natural contours, don't try not to flatten them, use what you've got. I think I'd like to see rays on a links course. I'd like to see rays used a bit more than flatten. And we are nitpicking. This hole's stunning. Because I've played this one a couple of times, I've got nothing to nitpick here. Yeah, just enjoying watching that, and the little lighthouse is perfect. I think the one nitpick I had on this hole is I'd have made this side a bit easier, because it's kind of it's basically you're laying up or you're really going for it, whereas that I feel should be the really risky play. And I think this width is great. I'd just like to see maybe a bit more bailout area here if I want to hit driver, because I'm kind of forced to, if I feel uncomfortable here, I'm either forced to take it on or I'm dropping down a club. I'd like to retain the option of hitting driver, but just having a longer second. I just don't think you need this bunker really either, although it does frame it very nicely. Yeah. That'll probably be one of those that you've wrestled with as well. Oh, the slow is not what we wanted. Yeah. And that camber was evident. Yeah, I've gone off the edge here before. This is a great green as well. So we're not getting there. The question is, where are we ending up? Where the fairway cuts in is just really awkward. These two bunkers are great for framing as well. Let's just bail out somewhere up here. I mean, I'd have maybe liked this edge a little bit flatter, but I wonder whether that's just me hitting it there and wanting it flatter. I think it probably is. Oh, a slow. How much is that little break there going to do? Ah, that's missing. Oh no, maybe not. Hey! Yeah, just another really good hole. I really wish I could play this course on Ultra and record, but it's just not happening today. Okay, another super wide hole. Well, we've got a number of ways to attack it. I think at this stage, one critique I would have is we've had a lot of greens that are just kind of falling off a little bit at the back, and I know they're big, but the playable section we're trying to hit to here, particularly for CC level, is pretty small. I don't think it needs to be falling off that side. I would like a few more options to kind of backstop a little bit. I get for another pin you totally can backstop all the way on this one, and this is just going to be a tough shot. Just feel like a lot of the greens are falling off at the back in a way. No, there's no way I'm hitting that. So although there's super width, we are basically going over here or down here. Don't back my chances of getting to there anyway. If I'm going down there, I'm probably running through, so I guess we're up here. And for what it's worth, that's like really, really good use of options. Yeah, 6 iron to that feels not dicey, it's fine. It's just a little on the tough side. Oh, I don't know. I'm feeling at the moment this course is board. I mean, it's definitely CC Pro, I think, rather than CC Am, which is fine. That's what I am. But there's a shot. Oh, that's annoying. Yeah, definitely wouldn't have had this rolling. Given how tight the landing area is, I'd have probably tried to bump this up a little bit. But I could see this being used on Corn Ferry easily. Although, I mean, it just takes changing the conditions, doesn't it? 3 under through 6, it's playing fine. I feel like I'm playing well, other than one really poor driver swing. Short par 4 is really well placed. The flow of holes has been great. Yeah, I mean, I've got a couple of nitpicks on here, but it's just really, really solid. And this one's potentially drivable, I think. Question is, where are we going to end up? And I like that you've made me question whether I'm driving it based purely on green contours, rather than bringing water in, because designing drivable par 4s without water in front of them or left is like, and have them play well is really difficult. Why don't we try this? Oh, got slow. No, it's not going to be the worst place in the world. Oh, the rough is. I mean, again, loads of other options. I could have played that very differently and should have done. The pin's friendly. Oh, there's a shot. That's it. Nope. Yeah, I couldn't do much better than that. In a tournament, this would be a must birdie hole, and I'd be kicking myself right now. Oh, it just ran out of legs. I'd say that's one of my favourites so far. And there's definitely been some absolute stunners though. The 2 par 5s for me have been the best holes I think we've got. Do you feel we're on the edge of CC difficulty in terms of this is a huge green as well? And I am well aware I have previous on huge greens. Maybe I think this for CC par 3. I think this tier is a bit too close. It's difficult for the most part. I feel this nails the level, and then there's just the odd pin or shot that's maybe a touch too much. Not too much. It's fine. We've played similar, but yeah. I also completely get a lot of this is a little bit of a reaction to Cabernet Club, so, and I'd rather you went this direction. Like, there's so much more playing interest here for it being difficult, and I guess with some of these comments I'm more picking out things that I think other judges may say. I think 8 is the only one for me that's maybe been a bit too much, and maybe that back tier on 6, but I think that was more just raising the back tier a touch. This is a really cool green site as well. It's a shame that we've got the pin down here, because I love it when it's behind. Like, the way you've used this natural feature here is brilliant. And what I guess you can tell already from some of my comments is I've played this, I think, 3 times, and I already feel I know the course pretty well. And there are I don't think there are any holes that kind of pass me by, where you're just a bit of a passenger for them. Oh, that one was me. You've got to be on your game to score as well, which I'm all for. We have a lot of courses on CC that are just birdie fests, and it becomes a bit dull and kind of stressful. Great look back from the screen. Righty, through 9 holes and 3 under. Yeah, last 3 have gone cold a bit. Played them all pretty poorly. It's a fun tee shot. That colour cart path I don't normally see, but works really well. Little touches back there are nice. Split the gap, I think. Yeah, I've got nothing to add. I really like this hole. Oh, slow. Get a lucky bounce. Nope. Try and get up and down. I mean, I don't really have too much to say in terms of critiques. It's all of this course fits my eye really nicely. I think it plays really well. It's on the tougher side of CC, but that's fine for me. This one's one of my favourite holes by a mile, and it's so simple. It's strategically interesting as a course, and varied. I just love this green site and the way it all... yeah, falls down there. Just love this. I think I can make that carry. It's a fun tee shot. Whee! Touch aloft. But I think I do also think that it rewards good shot making. Right? You're having to deal with unpredictable lies, with probably wind, knowing how it's going to be set up. Oh, tough pin. There. Lovely. I do like the touches of purple flowers as well. You've not overdone the multicoloured plants. I think the course is more believable for that. This hole's great as well. I know I've said that on so many, but there's just a load of good looks on this course. So this is going to be another one that plays really differently for Pro and Masters. Because I'm assuming, well, I guess Fast Pro Driver can probably bound down there. And this looks lovely, the way just the depth of how it's coming in there and there. Outstanding. trying to work out if this green is more what I was after in terms of the slightly more undulating. I think it is. Because you've got a little rise here. Like tiny slopes that feed in a bit more. Ooh, 5 mile an hour into 116 down some. Let's just go with this. Oh, it won't feed him from there though with a wedge. Alright, start it online and we should be good. Love calling it. Love calling it. Yeah, I enjoy 13 a lot as well. What I think this course does really well as well is they might not seem as obvious, but there are choices to make, and there's a lot of just awkward little tee shots like this one. If I want to hit driver, I'm puckering up a little bit. Bunkers are all really good. I think sometimes the texture can get a little bit high up, which is where it's kind of falling off the edge a touch, I think. But that's so minor a nitpick. Oh, I don't like my options. They're all there, I just don't like them. And I really want to be here with the way the green is. Damn it, Matt. I have to go for it. Okay. That actually looked a hell of a lot more intimidating than it was. But I'm now left with a pitch, which I didn't want. That's okay, we can do this. Hopefully it funnels down just a touch. And stops. Nice. Yeah, again, I really like the sculpting around the green. I wish there was occasionally a bit more. I don't know, you see so much mounding in and around the fairways. I'd love to see a green kind of where this is the front portion and you're kind of banking it in and off the slope. It kind of happens a bit here. Or like, I don't know, the back where like you're, let's imagine the green's down to here and across and you're playing to a pin here and it's banking up. Maybe it's just this pin set. I feel I've seen a lot of them that are just falling off at the back rather than necessarily having that amount of slopes coming into the green. Now this is the hole I know I've played a couple of times where I know you and I are going to disagree. Because I like it, I don't love it, and I think you sacrifice routing a little bit to put this one in for a view across that I don't think you totally get. I don't think the tee, if this played downhill a little bit and we get that view, then I'm all for it. But given that we're playing up at it, we lose the cliff edge, and I feel you just lose a little bit of what could make this really, really special. I also don't think you need the bit of green here. I know why it's there, and I know it. And the huge width of the green just jars for me a touch. I think the green's perfectly suited if we were to cut off this little bit here. But and you've done the little bit of the mound here that I wanted to see a bit more of, which is nice. needs to stay online. And go a bit. Yeah, I do like it, and I think it's really well done. But I think where you put it in the routing and that you have to walk to and from the green in order to get back to our next tee over here somewhere, I think it needs to be an absolute, like, for me, I need to feel like that's a slam dunk, can't miss hole, and I don't think this was quite it, just for those two reasons. And I know you're going to disagree, and that's all fine, because that's the nature of feedback. Oh, go on. Oh, it looked so good for so long. But I get why you did it. And it's a good hole. I don't know. The routing quirk to me is a bit... I don't think I would have sacrificed the routing for that. Just as a trade-off. Oh, nasty little tee shot. Now the approach to this green's really fun. Like, tough, but fun. Very unlike you, but I don't think that bunker's sculpted as well as you'd have liked. Just jars visually in a way that none of the others on the course have done. Now this shot is all kinds of fun, because I can funnel it in off there. Like, yeah, this one I'm all in on. I wish it wasn't blind from this side. I don't know if you needed these two bunkers at all, actually. Let's have a little look. Yeah, I don't think you did. I'm just trying to think through. In terms of strategy, very few people are going to... I think you basically have to be stupid to try to attack that. Just because I know it's doable, but the chances of success are so small. So if it's not blind from there, but you've kind of got to hit... I feel like the blindness... It's not unintentional in that you knew it was there. But I think it would have been a better hole had it been avoided. Or done maybe slightly differently, where we're allowing, I don't know, an easier play, like maybe make this bunker just to there, so we can lay up here with 2 wood and see. I don't know. It's one of those where I'm really struggling to explain it, but there's something in the balance that isn't quite working for me. Well, let's go to there. It's not going to make it. Don't kick into the bunker. That's okay. Well, this is guesswork. Oh, I'm annoyed that I've screwed up my favourite shot on the course. And the next one. Yeah, again, I'm sure you'll have people moaning about this green, but it's a par 5 green that you should hit into. I'm all fine with it. Oh. That one wasn't very slow. Still, here we go. Still, we'll take a 5. In many ways, I think the idea and the execution on that second shot was perfect. Just the visual for once. But the playability on that is right where I'd want it, and it's great green sight. Again, this one I love. And I love the way it just sits right in the middle of all of these holes. That little sway was great. For all that I've said, the kind of like flatten brush and clicking and dragging, that's exactly what it should be used for. Okay. think a 2 wood's the right play. I think what you've done also really well is that you can lay up on this course all day and you'll generally be fine. Trying to work out, is that slope in the middle a tier or a sweat or just a spine? I almost think I'd prefer if it were a spine rather than so we had this bit lower a bit and then just that slightly over, slightly under thing. Down 16 feet. Let's just loft the hell out of it. There we go. Well, I'm not going to reach -10, but I do think this is a touch more difficult than most of the other CCs. Is unfair, but most of the ones that are in the running. 17's a great look. I think have we made a little bit of a leap in the routing here? Oh yeah, we've made quite a big leap. So we've gone from there to here. I don't love it, but I don't see what other choice you really had at this point. Let's try and work it through. So 12 came here. What's I'm gonna have to leap into camera mode. So 12 went there. Is this T's for? Yeah, that's T's for 13, isn't it? We're now at that awkward stage where I really love this hole, but again, I don't know if I'd sacrifice the. I'm okay with the walk across the fairway. I don't have a problem with that. I have a bit of a problem, and I don't also mind the coming back this far to go to a tee. I think the issue I have is the walk back and the walk across. And curiously, if you'd done what I think I would suggest now, which is having another tee kind of here-ish and hitting across there, would probably be the way I'd done this and turn it into a par 5. You'd have more people complaining about it, so I think it's one of those you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Unless you could have put a tee somewhere around here. That would have been a way to do it. But then I guess it would feel like using the cliffs as a crutch a touch. I don't know. I think you'd have had to have reworked a fair bit. And how many people are really going to notice this other than routing geeks like me? I feel like this approach is going to be really tough. Oh, well, we've made it up to kind of a flatterish area. Oh, maybe not so bad, but a hell of a pin position. Really, we've got a bit of a backstop. Let's see if we can use it. That's okay. I think I'd have liked to have seen some of these slopes softened a touch. Just if I'm missing here and I'm rolling off the green, which will happen there, I think. It's probably, I don't know. The thing I'm seeing really more than anything with this is it looks like it's been raised up with one brush. I'm sure it hasn't, but it looks like there's been one brush and then we've used kind of, you can see how the tier everywhere is equidistant, or kind of like the same width. I personally like to see maybe can we make it a half tier so that you've got keep this bit in the reds and yellows, make this bit more green and raise up this. I think it will help. It would help the green feel a bit more three-dimensional, if that's a term. I don't know. It's something. It doesn't. That's not a. There's something wrong with this green. There isn't. No, that's a horrible putting stroke. It's more. That's kind of what I've been doing with more recent courses. And we finish on stroke index 1 and a 220 yard par 3 with just a gorgeous setting. Jesus, this is a tough finisher and I love it. I think if you're going to finish on a par 3, it's got to be big. And I don't have the club. Am I down? Do I down loft? Do I? Oh, I'm going to have to go long. I think I go long and I down loft. I never really remember. No, we don't down loft. we very much add loft. Please go off the green. Damn it, Matt. How far have we got? 78 feet. 100 feet. Is it 100 feet or over? I don't care, I'm putting it. I mean, we're almost certainly going off the front of the green, but this is no fun if I don't putt out. Whee! And very much off. Yeah. It was a poor tee shot. Deserved what it got. It's another one where I feel a little bit like you've been caught between two green sites you like. Like, I know that was the case on 14, I kind of feel like it's the case here. I don't know if this green needs to be quite this big. I'd be tempted to lose the back portion. But then, well, I don't know. There'll be people, put it this way, there'll be people who love it, there'll be people who think it looks really off. I'm somewhere in the middle. I love the hole. I'm just not sure if the green needed to be quite that large. And I love that you finished on a par 3 because we don't see enough of them and it's really hard to do well. So yeah, okay, I'm going to run through the rubric that I've got. I won't give scores because I don't do that on any of them, but playability and shot values, it was outstanding. Yes, it's on the tough side, but I thought I was always engaged off the tee and on approaches, and I can't say that's happened on very many courses. Technical execution, it's excellent. There's a few things I'd have tweaked, but it's outstanding. I think I've got very little to add. A couple of bits of bunker sculpting, a couple of bits of the fairway, occasionally with the greens. Not very. I mean, green sizes, but I think that's a choice. Yeah, aesthetics and environment I absolutely loved. Yeah, I mean, this look does everything for me, so, and you've nailed it. There's a number of holes that I would say were absolute showstoppers. If I'm just looking back at the card, 1 I think is a stunner, 2's outstanding, 5 is an absolute stunner. I loved. I'm trying to think. 8's a really 8's just tough. 9's a low-key stunner for me with the green sight. Actually, I think the par 5s were probably my picks. Second shot on 15 for sure. 12 was brilliant. Really liked 11. I mean, what for me distinguishes a good from a great course is how many holes can I come off and immediately remember. At the moment, I think I'm struggling to remember 3. Oh no, I remember 3. Big dog leg left. Remember 4, 5, 6. I remember all of the front 9. I remember all of the back 9. And there are very few courses I've had that with. So, anyway, aesthetics and environment, yeah, nothing I'd have changed really. Maybe a touch more undergrowth around the back, but minor nitpicks. Routing, flow, cohesion, variety of holes. I mean, my main one is with the routing on 14 and 16, in that I think, I don't know how you could have done it better, but I feel like there's a, like, it's a classic where you've fallen in love with a lot of holes on here, and rightly so for most of them. I didn't fall in love with 14, but I can see why you would have done. And because of that, the routing as a whole needed you to give one of those up, and you didn't want to. I think you really had to somewhere. Personally, for me, it would have been 14. If you'd say taken 14 and moved it between 16 and 17, and had your path 3 here that's going along the cliffs, that would have done it. I'm not saying it would have been a better routing, but it's basically a jigsaw puzzle that you've cheated a little bit on. And I mean, we've had this chat, you have. Now, does it make it a bad back 9? Absolutely not. I think it's really, really good. But I think there's probably another way that would have just taken a hell of a lot of effort, so I can see why you wouldn't. But yeah, overall things to consider. As I said at the top, it's one of the very top 3 for me, and it's really strong with each and every play. Tough decisions to make, but I absolutely loved it. I think I'm gonna say it's probably my favourite of yours in quite some time, and I really like a lot of them. Probably since Aristida, I loved. Oh, Copper Dunes, and I'm up there with that for me. And in many ways, probably done better than Copper. So yeah, great work. Anyway, I've got nothing really but good things, and all of my nitpicks are kind of suggestions, because I think, to be honest, like when you did your video of Marlette for me, they're going to be a lot of things that you knew and you've kind of discounted. So yeah, I hope it was helpful anyway, and as ever, do get in contact if there's anything you want to chat through further, or yeah, whatever. And best of luck.